In a galaxy teeming with countless intelligent species, advanced civilizations thrived across millions of star systems. Each species brought its unique strengths. Some were masters of technology, others unmatched in diplomacy, and a few even wielded powers that defied the laws of physics. Yet, despite their incredible advancements, there was one job that struck fear into the heart of every alien race: maintaining stability in the chaotic frontier zones of space. These zones were unpredictable and dangerous, filled with gravitational anomalies, unstable energy fields, and remnants of ancient battles that still radiated lethal pulses of energy. The slightest misstep in these regions could spell disaster, not just for those working there but for entire systems dependent on their stability. The job required navigating through storms of magnetic chaos, repairing malfunctioning infrastructure while bombarded by hostile environments, and dealing with sudden spatial rifts that could tear ships apart without warning. No amount of genetic modification, advanced AI, or technological shielding seemed enough to guarantee safety. The job's danger wasn't just physical, it took a mental toll as well. Workers often suffered from extreme psychological stress, haunted by the endless chaos they faced. Many alien species, despite their impressive cognitive adaptations, found themselves breaking under the relentless pressure. Governments and corporations across the galaxy offered vast sums of money and prestige to anyone brave or foolish enough to take on these perilous roles. Yet, year after year, job postings remained vacant. The risk was simply too great. Every species, from the hyper-intelligent Zerathians to the physically indestructible Krell, refused the task. Their leaders cited logical reasons: high mortality rates, insufficient safety protocols, and the lack of technological solutions. But beneath these justifications, when humans first arrived on the galactic scene, they were viewed with mild curiosity and skepticism. Compared to other species with superior intellect, biological enhancements, or centuries of spacefaring experience, humans seemed unremarkable. They lacked the elegant technological mastery of the Night Harry, the sheer physical strength of the Valtorans, or the psychic abilities of the Ilari. But when the Galactic Council opened the hazardous frontier job to volunteers once again, something unexpected happened. While other species recoiled in fear, humans stepped forward without hesitation. At first, the council members thought it was a misunderstanding. Surely these fragile beings hadn't fully grasped the dangers. But humans weren't deterred. "Someone's got to do it, right?" one human engineer shrugged, his words baffling the council. They soon learned that this wasn't bravado, it was a uniquely human trait. Where other species saw chaos and death, humans saw a challenge worth tackling. History had forged them into survivors, adaptable and stubborn beyond reason. They came from a planet of shifting climates, natural disasters, and constant conflict. Facing danger was practically coded into their DNA. What shocked the council even more was how humans thrived in the role. They didn't just survive the chaos, they found innovative solutions where none seemed possible. They built tools from salvaged debris, navigated unstable regions by intuition, and worked together with an uncanny ability to adapt on the fly. Other species watched in awe as humans accomplished the impossible time and time again. Reports spread across the galaxy, humans repairing critical infrastructure in deadly energy storms, stabilizing collapsing warp gates, and even saving entire colonies from spatial disasters. What drives them? An Ilari diplomat wondered aloud, her psychic senses unable to comprehend the seemingly reckless courage of these beings. The answer was simple: humans had an innate understanding of risk. They knew how to calculate danger, face it head-on, and keep moving forward. It wasn't that they lacked fear, they simply refused to be paralyzed by it. In time, humans became the galaxy's go-to problem solvers for any task deemed too dangerous for others. The same council members who once doubted them now sought their expertise. And while other species struggled to understand their mentality, one truth became clear: humans were willing to take on the jobs no one else dared to touch. They didn't do it for fame or glory. Most humans working in these perilous zones didn't make headlines. They did it because, to them, it was just another job, one worth doing right. A high-priority distress signal echoed across the galactic network. A critical energy stabilizer near a major trade route had malfunctioned, creating a swirling vortex of volatile energy that threatened to engulf nearby space lanes. If left unchecked, it would disrupt trade routes vital to dozens of star systems and potentially collapse the region into an uninhabitable void. Alien engineers had analyzed the situation and unanimously declared it unsalvageable. The vortex was growing exponentially, and every attempt to approach the stabilizer had resulted in catastrophic failure. The Council prepared evacuation orders, accepting the inevitable loss of the entire sector. But the humans had a different idea. A small team of specialists, led by a grizzled systems engineer named Carter, volunteered to handle the mission. Their plan? Fly directly into the chaos, override the stabilizer's core, and manually reset the energy grid. The Council was skeptical, many called it a suicide mission. Yet Carter and his crew remained unfazed. As their ship approached the unstable zone, alarms blared, and the ship's shielding flickered under the relentless energy onslaught. Fragments of shattered space debris spun wildly, threatening to tear them apart. The team's navigator, sweating under the stress, guided the ship with precision born from countless hours in dangerous conditions. "We've got a 5-minute window before the core overloads completely," Carter barked, his voice steady despite the chaos. "We're not leaving until this thing is stable." The team moved with practiced efficiency. Carter accessed the stabilizer's damaged interface remotely, bypassing layers of corrupted code. Sparks flew as one crew member manually rewired critical circuits while another rerouted energy flow to prevent a full system collapse. Time was slipping away. The vortex grew more unstable, its gravitational pull threatening to drag the ship into oblivion. Sweat dripped from Carter's brow as he typed furiously, his fingers flying across the console. "Got it," he shouted triumphantly as the stabilizer's core hummed back to life. The swirling chaos around them began to recede, the vortex shrinking until it finally dissipated. Silence filled the ship as the crew stared at their screens in disbelief. "We did it," whispered the navigator, her voice tinged with awe. Carter leaned back in his seat, exhaustion washing over him. "Told you it was just another job," he said with a wry grin. Their return was met with stunned silence from the Council. What had been deemed impossible had become just another day's work for humans. They didn't seek praise or reward, knowing they'd saved countless lives and secured vital trade routes was enough. As the crew disembarked, other species watched them with a mixture of respect and bewilderment. It was clear now why humans were different. They didn't fear the chaos, they thrived in it, turning impossibility into triumph with sheer determination. The mission's success rippled across the galaxy. News networks broadcast the astonishing feat, replaying footage of the human crew stabilizing the vortex against all odds. Scientists from advanced civilizations analyzed the data in disbelief, trying to understand how these seemingly fragile beings had accomplished what their finest minds had declared impossible. The Council convened a special session to recognize the achievement. Representatives from dozens of species gathered, their usual political posturing replaced by a shared sense of awe. When Carter and his team were called forward, the applause was tentative at first but quickly grew into thunderous appreciation. But the humans, true to form, were modest. Carter shrugged off the praise with a simple, "Just doing our job." It wasn't humility born of false modesty, it was genuine. For humans, risking everything to solve a problem was just part of who they were. Behind the scenes, the Council debated a larger question: what made humans different? The answer wasn't strength, intelligence, or advanced technology. It was their unique relationship with fear and chaos. Humans didn't just survive adversity, they thrived in it, adapting faster and thinking more creatively than anyone else. Other species began rethinking their own limits. Inspired by the humans' example, some young engineers and explorers from alien worlds started volunteering for previously shunned roles. A quiet revolution was unfolding, led by the simple realization that fear could be faced and conquered. Meanwhile, Carter and his crew returned to their everyday work. There were no grand celebrations waiting for them, no lavish rewards. But that was fine. The satisfaction of knowing they had made a difference was reward enough. As they prepared for their next assignment, Carter glanced at the new mission report: a stabilizer malfunction near a binary star system. Dangerous, unpredictable, and no doubt filled with chaos. "Looks like another fun one," Carter said with a grin, earning chuckles from his crew. They knew the risks, but that was part of the job. And if history had proven anything, it was that humans would always be the ones who didn't fear the impossible. They faced the void, not because they were fearless, but because they knew they could conquer it. The galaxy would remember this mission for generations, but for humans, it was simply another story in a long line of challenges faced and overcome. Their legacy wasn't just bravery, it was a relentless belief that no job was too dangerous, no problem unsolvable, and no frontier too chaotic. And as long as there was work to be done, humans would always be the first to raise their hands, step forward, and say, "We've got this."